Hello from me.
Cartoon Museum Cartoon Conversations, where we try and discuss cartoons, and we both love cartoons because we just see them as time capsules. And although you put time capsules in the ground once, we do one every week because they're history. Cartoons are history. So big stuff this week. So let's get stuck into it. Thousands of people turned out at rallies across Australia. Protesters were supporting Indigenous people and the Black Lives Matter movement, which began after police killings in the US. Shannon R. Donovan, a Gadigal woman, said she attended the protest despite the potential to be fined or jailed because she was constantly racially profiled. "I've been followed around in Kmart looking like I'm going to steal something," she said. "I've learned to have to go in my work uniform so it doesn't look like I'm going to take anything. I get stared at by the police when I'm in public." Now that was in the Financial Review, and there's David Rowe's picture, which is...
Yeah, I think David's picture here sums it up, or the worldwide, everywhere, all the protests and what's going on,
and he's plugging into French history, French painting with that picture.
Monumental errors. How can Australia fix its racist colonial statues? Obelisks, an arch-broken pillar and stone statue remind us of the crippling loss a young nation faced in campaigns overseas. But where are the monuments to conflicts fought in our own country? A brutal war of dispossession that left deep and enduring scars on countless communities. As the recent debate over Australia's statues demonstrates, sanitised symbols of violence and dispossession have long stood unchallenged in the heart of our towns and cities.
Yeah, have long stood unchallenged in the heart of our towns and cities. That's true. Christopher Downs of the Hobart Mercury.
Originally sacred sites, colonial rule statues, and that kind of sums that up. The police are out there guarding the colonial rule statues, but what about the Aboriginal sacred sites?
That's right. And of course we have Peter Broelman who talks about this. This was published in the Canberra Times. And his idea is if you stick a statue of Captain Cook in front of your sacred site cave, it's not going to get blown up.
Yeah, in safe territory.
Harry Bruce of the Cairns Post. Know the facts. And we need to respect our history. And the guy's looking at a sign built on the base of, and it said, built in 1972 as a motel advertising gimmick.
Don't mention the history war. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it.
Yeah.
So people need to know what these statues stand for, I reckon.
Now, Harry Bruce again at the Townsville Bulletin. Robert Towns, the South Sea Island blackbirds.
See, Robert Towns was the one of the founding fathers of Townsville.
Yes, that he's named after. Yeah.
Yes, and he actually relied on Melanesian and South Sea Island.
Even Hawaiian, didn't he go as far as Hawaii?
Workers, in the sort of slavery, made what they call blackbirds.
Yeah, remember us, or blackbirding.
Yeah.
Remember us, yeah.
But there's no honour in slavery.
No. And Harry Bruce again, the Cairns Post, respect our history. We need to respect our history. Now, Permalwool, Jandamara, Truganini, Vincent Lingari and Eddie Marbo.
Well, the first two guys were well-known Aboriginal warriors.
Yes, who actually fought against the early European settlers. Truganini's the last Aboriginal full-blood from Tasmania. Vincent Lingiari was the man who received the dirt in the hand and the whole of Uluru when it was given back to the Aboriginals by Whitlam. And Eddie Marbo took on the law and changed everything. Now the point is with the cartoonists are using statues as an alternative to what's actually happening. So if you put these statues up, but I mean, the statue of Cook has stood there for years and years and years, and then a couple of women go along and paint it with spray cans, and everybody's outraged. But if you started putting Aboriginal statues up, they'd get torn down immediately. So what does that say, Tom?
Yeah.
I mean, what would that say?
I'm thinking that, you know, if we're going to honour our colonial past, why not, you know, honour the first Australians?
But isn't it because we've never had the conversation? We've never had the debate about racism in this country. We just keep on saying we're not as bad as the Americans.
Well,
that's what people
my
say
experience, I come from New Zealand.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm moving away now.
When I arrived in this country, I was overwhelmed by the racism that I found, especially in regional and country areas. And I couldn't believe it, you know, because I'd grown up where, you know, our next door neighbours were Maoris and they were uncle and auntie to me.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it was foreign. It was something I hadn't experienced back home.
Peter Broelman, the Geelong Advertiser, Captain Cook statue spray painted, and the two. I mean, this hasn't happened yet, but two women.
No, these are two women were caught.
Yeah, but it hasn't. The court case hasn't happened
yet. No.
And you know, and what would we have got if we blew up a sacred site? A tax break.
Mine over water matter.
Yeah, mine, M-I-N-E, yeah.
Yeah, over matter.
Yeah, that's the white man's sacred site, isn't it, the mine?
Yes.
Mm.
And that's a reference to the Rio Tinto's blowing up.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the second cartoon on that subject that Broelman's done today in this thing. Kathy Wilcox, the Sydney Morning Herald, monuments. Some new monuments.
Well, we should have a monument to the explorer who decided to leave the place as he found it.
Or the leader who felt ashamed.
The fortunate person who shut up and listened.
Or the person who patiently explains again how intergenerational trauma works.
All food for thought.
Do you think we'll ever get them?
No. Unfortunately not. Especially now that humanities has been
well, let's push on. Branch stacking is a term used in Australian politics to describe the act of recruiting or signing up members for a local branch of political party for the principal purpose of influencing the outcome of internal pre-selections of candidates for public office, or to ordinately influence policy of the party. Allegations of such practices have become controversial in Australia after several inquiries or contests which received mainstream media attention. And most political parties now have clauses in their constitutions which allow head office intervention to resolve alleged stacking or other allegations of fraud, with penalties for those who engage in it. Branch stacking itself is legal under Australian law, being internal party matters, but some activities like providing false information to the Australian Electoral Commission, such as numbers of members, can be prosecuted as fraud. And the reason we're talking about this is because of what's happened in the Labor Party.
Parliament's built on.
That's right. And this is John Shakespeare of the Sydney Morning Herald, and he's basically saying that the whole of Parliament is built on it.
Yeah, well, so there's all factions in there. There's the left, the right, the moderates, and everyone's vying for position and power and say in the policies of the all parties.
And everybody knew that that the Labor Party had branch stacking, but everybody knows that the Liberals do it too. Everybody and the Country Party, the Nationals. And what's branch stacking? Matt Golding for The Age. Abbreviate it and you'll have the answer. Well, that's BS, isn't it, Tom?
Yes, bullshit.
BS. David Rowe of the Australian Financial Review. Dan Andrews, kicking the disgraced Adam Sommerek who was actually his story was told on 60 Minutes.
And The Age, they had recordings.
Yeah, of him gloating about it. And series, and what's he saying? Elbow. Political distancing and kicking goals. Oh, a little right to the left on that one, because the show appeared on Sunday night, and first thing in the morning he was sacked. Yeah.
So it's the right wing was trying to, because Dan's known to be, leaning left.
But look.
Both of them got red ties though.
Yeah.
So how's a person to know the difference? Shouldn't he be wearing a blue tie? Or maybe it's a blue folder you got to check.
Yeah, well, who knows? Yeah.
With all the names, all the new members.
That's right. You got to check out the colour of the ties.
Yeah.
And if it's Trump, it's the length of the tie as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I like his socks.
Yes.
Very dandy.
John Spooner of The Australian. This is also about the disgraced MP Adam Sommerek.
You put garbage in and you'll get garbage out. He actually voted him in. The guy must have some degree of popularity to actually even get that far.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, once you get your foot in the door, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
I
mean, the old joke.
Pretty easy to get it out too.
The old joke was that if you get caught with your finger in the till at a local government, you go for state government, and if you get caught with your finger in the till in state government, you go for federal government. That's the old joke. And this is referring to the 60 Minutes show. Matt Golding of The Age, Sommerek's ally. Carriot's caught in the stacking scandal, so she was the third one to go.
Yeah, all those behind the scenes that
Yeah, tick-tock. And it's ALP's Faceless Man.
Yes.
Yeah. Now this is David Rowe, the Financial Review, and this is the Victorian Labor branch stacking, and there's Scott Morrison leaning over the fence with his COVID-19 shirt on.
Hawaiian type shirt.
Yeah, because he got it on his holiday during the bushfires. And there's Elbow cutting off the dead branches.
Many dead branches, actually.
And of course, on the tree are all the people who have been involved in scandals. Yeah. There's Rudd, there's Julie, there's all sorts of people up there. Hawkey, there's all sorts of people up there.
There's PJK, and Richo, Hawke.
And of course, the true thing in the middle of that picture is a politician pissing into the into the fountain, and basically, I think that's what it's all about.
They just piss on us.
Yeah, piss on us. And this is what year?
1999.
Yes,
Warren Brown, the Daily Telegraph.
Yeah,
it's like saying.
Yeah.
It was another, obviously, way back then there was branch stacking in New South Wales.
Due to the unfortunate bout of branch stacking, we seem to have enrolled a few undesirables. Well, look, they've got everybody there. They've got even Star Wars, there's Atlas
Well, the people involved in the branch stacking, they must know when someone offers, we'll pay for you.
Yeah.
We'll pay your membership.
Yeah.
Just sign here.
Yeah, but
There's something dodgy's going on.
But they might get paid a bit of money as well, besides that paying for their thing,
That's going to attract undesirables, isn't it?
And obviously in the old days all the cartoons were in black and white.
It was a bit refreshing, actually.
Now this is it's HALP, spelt H-A-L-P. This is branch stacking again, but this time there are people getting cut off.
It looks like the state's handing it over to the National Executive.
That's right, to Jenny Macklin and Albanese.
Now, the guy on the left, I have no idea who he is.
No, I don't know either.
Is it one of Labor's faceless men?
No, he's got a face. And Dan Andrews is towering above them all, and of course he's got gloves on, black gloves, and he's got his little spray there.
He's still sanitising his hands out,
but
really trying to wash his hands.
And of course it's ALP trucking, and of course there's a chook on the front of the truck, but if you have a look right on the right-hand side of the cartoon, there's that politician pissing in the water again. And that's what it's all about. We're all getting pissed on. The politicians don't give us stuff. Joanna's Leak at the Australian.
Monkey See, we've got Dan Andrews, Anthony Albanese and Bill Shorten. Speak, hear and see no evil.
Yeah, the Three Wise Monkeys.
Yes, it says it all.
Matt Golding of The Age. ALP plans to reform the party after revelation of branch stacking angers unions.
Yeah, the unions don't want to be cut out of this because they have a lot of influence and they, like the rest of them, the different factions, have stacked a lot of the party, you know.
Oh, are you saying that there's branch stacking in the unions?
Yeah.
My God, it's spreading. It's
I
like...
think it's always been there.
Oh, has it? Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
they select their candidate and they support them. And
Yeah, oh, okay. I'm shocked. I didn't know. Okay.
shock horror. How could something like that happen? Absolutely.
Well, they're actually going to sue the government if they go ahead with it because they're talking about the federals are going to actually
limit
people's voting rights till 2023. So they're actually thinking of taking them. The unions are thinking of taking them to court, which is going to, you know.
Well, you realise it is legal
Yeah.
to branch stack.
Yeah, well, that's yeah. This is David Rowe, Financial Review, and this is Pushing Buttons. This is our Prime Minister in the hands of a Chinese...
Yes, poor Scott is feeling the pressure.
He's feeling the pressure.
The Chinese are saying, we don't want your grain, we don't want your agricultural products.
Yeah.
And they're really giving Australia a hard time.
Yeah.
And
so he's pressing the coal as if it's a
Yeah.
button, as if it's going to fix up everything. But you see, other countries have gained access to the Chinese markets, and Russia's improved their own agricultural industries. China's now less dependent on Australian agriculture.
yeah,
And of course,
I think it's a bit of retaliation for
yeah,
Australia being
on
the
Trump's
voice
side,
on the COVID
on Trump's side, and
inquiry about
Yeah.
the World Health
yeah,
Organization.
to put pressure on.
I think they were played by Trump there, you know.
Yeah, I think they were too. But I mean,
You know,
it's all.
because you know whose grain they're buying? Also, America's.
Are they?
Yes, and
What-
they have done well out of Australian
Yeah.
losing out.
Yeah.
So I'd be wary of this Trump guy.
Really? Andrew Dyson of The Age, the most sophisticated state-based cyber actor, and the winner is... And of course,
Panda.
the Prime Minister came out and talked about this cyber attack
Friday afternoon.
on Friday afternoon. And of course, everybody runs it because he didn't say who it was. They know who it was, but they didn't say who it was. And of course, suddenly all the chooks are running around crashing into each other saying the sky is falling. And meanwhile, the news of raising the prices to humanities courses at university sneaks through to the keeper.
Yes.
Which is what this is about, the arts, the dark arts.
Well, they tried to get that through, last thing on Friday night.
Humanities
And
degree will
everyone's
cost
gone
you
home.
double. Quick, look over there, cyber attack. Yeah, so if you want to find out more, check out those
Hashtags.
down the bottom.
Humanities, cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So really, was it cybersecurity just a distraction?
I reckon it was. They were always doing stuff on Friday like that. While fees for subjects in health, teaching and agriculture and science will be reduced, fees for subjects in the arts, humanities and social science will more than double. And this is Dan Tehan,
Yeah, Tian.
the Federal Minister of Education. So Matt Golding from The Age is, they're
And
saying...
he thinks criticising them is being critical thinking.
Yeah. Oh,
But we do want you to learn it, or if you want to learn it, it's going to cost you.
yeah. And this is Breakfast at Humanities. Breakfast at Tiffany's, the 1961 film based on a Truman Capote novello, has become famous for its visual shorthands, its signifiers of New York chic and fashionable femininity than its actual story of characters. And of course, This is a woman who's looking not through Tiffany's window, but through a class at a university.
Yeah,
and of course,
she no longer can afford to take
that's
the
right.
class.
That's right. And she can't afford the Tiffany's window. She can't afford the class. And there she is with her runners on.
And she's actually using an iPhone in her hand.
Yeah, sucking it. Yeah.
Very well done. I like that one.
It's very subtle.
Very good. And you
Jim-
realise you wouldn't understand it if you hadn't done Humanities.
Yes, Breakfast at Humanities. Yeah. And this is the 10th anniversary of the night when Julia Gillard deposed Kevin Rudd. So there's the knife going into the cake, the 10-year cake. The killing season. Oh, that's the next cartoon. Well, that's
Julius
Jim.
Caesar's got a lot to answer for.
Well, he didn't do it. That's Jim Pavlidis from The Age. But he's also published in the Sydney Morning Herald. And this cartoon is the 10-year anniversary of all the carrying on that was going on in that time. And there you've got Shorten and Swan and Gillard all setting fire to Rudd with the knives in his back. And on the other side of the house, you've got
Abbott
getting stuck into Turnbull. And there's our present Prime Minister looking and saying, shivers. Oh, look at that.
That could happen to me.
Yeah. Anatomy of the man who protesteth too much. Well, I think this is
I think Michael's had enough.
Yeah,
Yes.
he saw this is yesterday's cartoon in the Saturdays, and he's sort of this, he took a knee, he did his back, he did his head in, he became a pain in the bum, he was told to pull his finger out, he couldn't put a foot right, etc. He's just had it, and as usual, Loonig tries to express the political metaphor in a poetic sort of way.
I think he's done quite good, actually.
Yeah.
I was impressed with this one.
Yeah. Well, is it goodbye from me?
It's goodbye from him.
Okay. Well, let's hope that next week's cartoon conversation we get much better examples of our social criticism.
But what sort of great issues will we have this week?
Yes.
Any ideas?
I think it's he's been on holiday for a week, so I think Trump's going to come back for sure.
There hasn't
with
been
all the
much on
COVID,
Trumpy, has he?
I think
and
COVID.
he's got his elections coming up soon.
Yeah, we're only 24 hours from Tulsa.
Good night.
Bye bye.